And good Saturday morning, everybody. Welcome to the Saturday Morning Huddle. Kenny Roda alongside John Bozeka. Time to recap. Hard to believe, but week number 9, it's gone. It's in the books, and we were there, and we've got highlights. We've got interviews. We've got players and coaches joining us this morning to recap all of that, John. But here we are, 1 week left in the regular season for high school football, and what a week 9 it was.
It was, and it all culminates obviously next week with the McKinley-Massillon game on Saturday. Will be so much fun when we get there, but week 9, incredible last night. Just so many interesting storylines coming together, some upset wins last night that we're going to talk about. One big one with Fairless defeating Northwest last night. Lake and Hoover playing a great game last night. We've got highlights from that. Right. Just so many other things. And hey, we got to thank them right off the bat too. I want to do it because it's the only reason that we're here.
That's right.
That's the Saturday Morning Huddle brought to you by Marianne Donuts, Akron Auto Auction, Community One Credit Union, DeHoff Realtor Ty Colucci, and Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC. Got to thank our sponsors off the bat, Kenny.
Without question. And how about Old Carolina Barbecue giving a $25 gift card to our Old Carolina Barbecue players of the game. And then today we'll tell you who our player of the week is, courtesy of Community One Credit Union. And I also, if we're giving shout outs, I got to give a shout out to Anthony Davide, his wife Vicky, Chad Bailey from AkronAutoAuction.com, as well as Brent Holstenhoppel, Angelo's to go. This was the feast that they provided for us yesterday in the WHBC Press Box Food Fight Challenge. This is from Angelo's to go. Look at it. We had lasagna. We had 3 different flavors of wings. We had Italian subs, red pepper subs. We had homemade tiramisu. It's up there in the far right-hand corner. And, of course, the golden crisp chips and everything. So Jackson, the leader by far in the clubhouse right now in the 2025 WHBC Press Box Food Fight Challenge. So Anthony Davide and his wife Vicky, she made the tiramisu. Thank you. Chad Bailey, Akron Auto Auction. Thank you. Brent Holzenhoppel. Thank you. And Angelo's, you want great food? Go to Angelo's to go. And guess what? There was so much. I've got food for my games today and tomorrow to eat for the rest of the weekend.
I would say, Kenny, that lasagna looks just outstanding. I'm such a big fan of wings, though. Like, just a good wing before a football game.
Oh.
And what is it? And it looks like you've got the garlic parm, you've got the mild, and you've got some barbecue there. You're able to mix and match. That's the best thing to do.
The combinations yesterday, as good as, Trent Hayden to DJ Britt. We're going to talk about that for McKinley. That's the best combination I saw this weekend. But that combination right there, all that food right up there. So thank you again to Anthony and Chad and everybody there at Jackson. It didn't go Jackson's way last night as McKinley really put it on them, 40-9 the final score. But the food was fabulous. And, John, let's start right there, if you don't mind. With that game, because it was basically for the Federal League Championship, right? McKinley already had a share of the Fed, but they wanted to win it outright, something they didn't do last year, I should say, in week 9. Well, today, as we look back at these highlights, there's no doubt who the best team in the Federal League is in 2025. It is indeed the McKinley Bulldogs. Kylan West gets them on the board there with a touchdown run. And then watch this play here. It's quarterback Trent Hayden throwing just a simple pass out to Hill, and Hill gets tackled. But guess what? Hill's not down. He landed on Max Cowles, the defensive back, wise enough to realize that. No whistle was blown, and they take it the distance. Darius Hill with the touchdown, a heads-up play by the McKinley wide receiver. And then we get another big play here for the McKinley Bulldogs. Again, Trent Hayden to DJ Britt. Big catch down to inside the 5-yard line. Kylan West finishes things off. His second touchdown of the run, power football right up the gut. This was McKinley from the start. McKinley all the way through the end. But how about this nice throw and catch? Lucas Eckerman to Max Cowles. And Cowles goes up, makes a nice grab. That sets up a field goal for the Polar Bears to make it 21-3 at halftime. That's where we were as Missouri puts it through the uprights. But as I said, this was all about McKinley. This was all about Trent Hayden to DJ Britt. We're going to see catch and run after catch and run. Here's another one. Little screen pass. Great block on the outside. Turn on the Jets. Take it inside the 30-yard line, setting up another scoring opportunity. DJ Britt then get a high point of ball right here on this throw from Trent Hayden. And Hayden had a nice night, 311 yards passing. And look at that catch there from DJ Britt. One of, I believe, 9 catches for him for 179 yards as he was unstoppable. And then a little move to the outside. They looked like Trent Hayden and DJ Britt looked like Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase and what the Bengals did to the Steelers the other night. Now, I'm sure Renzi Parnell not going to be happy with that. DJ Britt flagged for excessive celebration, but when you're up 40-9, you can do something like that. But just a dominating performance, John, by McKinley in that win 40-9 over the Polar Bears of Jackson.
I don't know. I mean, I know Renzi's not going to be happy with it, but I mean, like, you catch 9 passes for 179 yards. Like, yep. I mean, hit the gritty, do something fun, like make it memorable for the fans. Show them that you know how to celebrate. He did. Yeah. So, I mean, give him credit. Yeah. We saw McKinley last week against Lake, and I was so impressed with Trent Hayden to Darius Hill all night, and what a combination that is. And then,
by the way, John, last night that combination, 5 catches for Hill, 114 yards and a touchdown. So it's not like that disappeared yesterday.
Well, it's interesting. I was talking to the McKinley wide receivers coach last week because I've known him for a while, Joe Ewell, and he was telling me that he's really worked hard to try to go with this like mantra of like blue collar players, blue collar wide receivers. He wants guys that work hard. He wants guys that put in the extra time. And he said it's really hard because he said we have so many weapons. He said we got to get the ball to 3 and 19. He said, but we've also got 5 other guys behind them that if we gave them the opportunity, they'd make the plays too. And they're more raw than those 2 guys are. But I mean, you mix that offense with Trent Hayden and Kylan West and the 2 wide receivers and the line up front that, is just incredible week after week with the defense that Renzi Parnell is hanging his hat on. That's their key. Holding Jackson to 9 points last night, a team that's been putting up big points. That's a great win for the Bulldogs, and it clinches them a playoff spot. And week 10, because Massillon, I believe, has clinched a playoff spot too, is truly about bragging rights, which is when it's at its best.
No doubt. McKinley wins the Fed outright, clinches a playoff spot, doesn't overlook Jackson to get ready for Massillon next week. Massillon won yesterday 42-10. We'll get into that a little later on. So setting up that great rivalry. But we had other games too that were exciting and great finishes last night.
We did. And that game that we're talking about, the game that I don't think anyone had on their monitor as being the game to watch. Maybe Kenny did, because Kenny told me he was talking about it. But
I warned everybody during the Alt Care Stadium show, Northwest better not take Fairless lightly. Now, I don't know if I picked Fairless, but I said you better watch out. And I knew AJ would have something up his sleeve for John DeMarco in Northwest. And sure enough, he did. Fairless 22, Northwest 21 in overtime. We ain't playing for no stinking tie. We're going to try and win this, baby. Ring of fire. Let's do it. And congratulations, Coach, as you get the big upset win yesterday.
Thanks, Kenny. I really appreciate it.
Coach, this game last night, it goes back and forth. You guys start out with the lead, and then at the end, you're in this back and forth duel. The decision to go for 2, was there ever any question in your mind at the end?
No. When we won the toss and took defense, we said on the headset, we're going to go for 2. They were wearing us down a little bit. You guys have seen them. I mean, Northwest is really good. They're right there with Louisville and Lake, and they hadn't lost a Pac-7 game. So in our mind, we're going to have trouble stopping them. And, we were a little tired there at the end. So we're going to go for 2 and put our best play and see what happens.
Coach, was that play on the 2-point conversion one you had repped a lot in practice, so you knew that was the play you were going to go with if you were going to go for 2 in a situation like that?
So actually, Kenny, we ran our 2-point play, and Northwest was calling timeout, but we ran the play. So like they got to see our original 2-point play. So then we had to go to a different 2-point play that we've practiced quite a bit. And it gives Mikey a run pass option. And they took away the pass and Mikey ran it in. So kudos to Mikey for making the read and making the play.
Mikey, I whenever I watch you play, and it's not just because you wear the number 6, but you remind me of Baker Mayfield. Is that some guy that you try to emulate a little bit in your play? You're smaller. You just seem to make plays like that. Is that a guy that you try to emulate?
Yeah, 100%. I think he brings energy to his team, and it's huge. I mean, being able to run and pass is something I couldn't really run last year, but this year I'm bringing more to the table, and I think that helps.
So, Mikey, how cool is it that your coach has made this decision? He believes in you. We're going for the win, guys. Here's the play or plays, right? And the ball's in your hands. How cool is that? And how happy are you to deliver for him as well as your teammates?
I mean, it was really cool. And I knew we were going for 2 as well. I mean, I had that feeling. I knew we were going to win. Even pregame, I felt something. It was the game.
And here is the play, guys. As you can see, Mikey scrambles out and gets in. Mikey, when you got to the edge out there and you knew that there was going to be some contact, what are you thinking as you head right towards the end zone and you see those 2 defenders?
I just was thinking throw myself in the end zone any way possible. I think I tried to lower my shoulder. Yeah.
Yeah. And Mikey, as this is developing, what's the original read? Take us through as you're taking the snap in the shotgun here. What are you looking for? What are you looking at? And then as it develops, you've got to make a quick decision.
So it's a pop pass to our tight end number 5, and I saw him get jammed, but by him getting jammed, I mean, it's like a block for me. So I followed right behind him, and he made a hole for me.
Coach, I know you've spoken so highly of Mikey for so long, and he's just a junior, but he's also a great baseball player. What makes this kid such a special quarterback and such a special leader for your team?
I mean, there's so many things I could talk about, John. First of all, he's committed. Like, doesn't miss a day in the weight room, 6 a.m. He's there throwing all the time, and he puts a ton of time into baseball as well. Like, he works at both sports a ton. He's a 4.0 student. He's coachable. He's that kid that you want on the field, off the field, that you never have to worry about. He's a great leader. He's competitive. He's composed. He just does everything you want a player of yours to do. And he's fun to be around. He has fun at practice. Like I said, we're very fortunate to have Mikey, and I love coaching him.
Mikey, I'm curious. Northwest was favored going into this game. They're at the top of the Pac-7. They hadn't lost a game. What was practice like this week? What was said for you guys to have your best practices, as well as go out there and believe you could get the win?
One big thing that stuck with me was one play at a time, and that's like one practice at a time, one play at a time. You can't just think about the big picture. It's just like one step at a time. It's the little things.
Coach, getting this win, you guys have been searching all year for a big win, and you're able to pick one up here. What does this do for the confidence of the team going into Week 10 and just to look at this year?
Well, I think people see final scores, John, and Orville, we're 21-21 with 3 minutes to go. Triway at 17-7 with 2 minutes to go in the first half, and we're on there 25 and we fumble. Manchester was 14-7 at half. Last week, Canton South, it's 21-14 with 6 minutes in the third. So we've literally been in every game. We've had as many as 7 starters out throughout the year. So our kids have been playing hard. They've been battling. We've just made some mistakes in the second half, or we've ran out of gas or this or that, but it hasn't been an effort thing. So last night we were like, hey, this is our 5th league game. This is your opportunity. Once again, if you win the second half, we win the game. And I just couldn't be happier for our kids. I'm so proud for them because football's hard. You know, you play one time a week and you practice for 10, 11 hours, and you only get to play once. It's different than baseball or basketball. And our kids have continued to come to practice, to work hard, to be coachable. And that's not really easy in today's society. So I'm just really happy for them that they get to enjoy success.
All right. Got to talk a little defense, coach, right? I mean, we're talking about a pick six. We're talking about Ontrell Hunter with a big defensive play for you. I don't know on your bingo card if you had your defense scoring in yesterday's game, but how big was that?
It was huge. And Ontrell is a guy that played really well our first 4 weeks, and then he had his appendix taken out. So his first game was last week against Cam South, and he had a pick six. And then he played much better last night, had 2 interceptions, but you could see last week he was getting his legs underneath him. But he's a really good corner. He's done a great job for us. So missing him for 3 games hurt, but he's back now. And once again, another kid that's coachable, that has improved so much, really hard worker. And it was great to see him excel last night.
So Kenny, we do need to let the cat out of the bag just a little bit about the Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. You know, this is a cool thing too. 2 weeks in a row that a Fairless Falcon has had the Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. Last week it was Ontrell Hunter with his pick six, and this week it's a simple play. It's only 3 yards, but I chose it because it was a chance to win the ball game, and Mikey made the right play. I think that's pretty sweet, and I think that stands out above everything else.
How about that, Mikey? Sweet play of the week. Coach might have to get you some Marianne Donuts, or maybe we'll get you some Marianne Donuts, because I think NIL is going to be passed, so we can buy you some things like that these days, maybe. How nice is this?
Yeah, that'd be awesome. I'm excited.
Coach, you said that you were going for it no matter what. And last week, Coach DeMarco faced the same situation as Tuslaw went for 2, and they made the stop. For you, as this is, happening and that decision is already made, what's, I guess, going through your mind as you're watching that? You've called the play, you're going for 2. What are you seeing, and what's going through the coach's head on that play?
I think we saw the look, and I thought we were going to have the pop pass, to be honest, because there was no one in the middle of the field. But then it just kind of broke down a little bit, and Mikey made a great play. And I think that's what you do. You trust your players, and at the end of the day, it's 3 yards. It's us against them, and who wants it more. And Mikey found a way to get in, and obviously he's going to get the credit. But those other guys up front blocked and stayed on their guy, and that allowed Mikey to make a play. And we just made one more play than they did.
Mikey, I know from talking to your coach that you're a shortstop on the baseball team. Oftentimes you're pressed with quick decisions as a shortstop. Does that help you in a play like this to be able to diagnose so quickly and make the play?
Yeah, 100%. And I think football helps me at shortstop for that reason. Football is a huge decision-making game, and you can't think, you just got to react.
Coach, I'm curious, what's the conversation like with your good friend John DeMarco after the game? Hey, you're good friends, right?
Yes.
And you want to win the game, right? That's the most important thing, but you guys are such good friends. I'm curious what that's like, that dynamic.
It's funny you asked that, Kenny, because I still remember the first time in 2020, Coach DeMarco and I coached against each other. It was for the league title, and we lost 17-12. It would have been the first time we won the league in 41 years, and I'm fighting back emotions, and we shake hands, and Coach DeMarco looks at me and he goes, it doesn't feel like I won tonight. This is what it was like coaching against Coach Hurtler, because they played against each other at Hoover. And I really didn't understand that at the time, because I was young and we were right there for the league title. And then in 2021, when we beat them, we won. It was reversed. And I told him the next morning at the JV game, I felt what he was saying. I understood it. So very happy for our kids, ecstatic, but I have all the respect in the world for Coach DeMarco. You guys probably remember we were joking in pregame 2 years ago when we played Northwest at home. My daughter Collins, who's 2 now, was a day old. Yep. And when Coach DeMarco and I shook hands, they won, and he was in tears because he felt bad that I wasn't at the hospital with my daughter. And he said it's the only time in 40 years of coaching he didn't want to be in a stadium on a Friday night. So I have all the respect in the world for Coach DeMarco. My brother's obviously over there too, but it's an odd game, I guess. When you're playing it, you're competing and you don't think about it. But once you shake hands and you see that other guy and you know how much time and effort they put in and that they lost, I think there's just some compassion and empathy, and I just have a lot of respect for him. So happy and thrilled for our kids, our school, and our community. But, I just respect Coach DeMarco a lot.
Yeah, don't feel too bad for him. They clinched the playoff spot, so he's going to be playing, in the postseason. And you did what you had to do, and Mikey, you did what you had to do, and that's a great win for you guys. I'm happy for both you guys. And how about this week, right? I mean, we talk about rivalries all over the county this week. You guys, are you at home? I think you're at home with the Tuslaw team, the Blue Cup, right?
Yes.
What's that mean to both you guys?
You want to go first?
Yeah, sure. I mean, every game I've seen, we've always beat Tuslaw. So, I mean, I just want to keep that going.
Coach, for you, you know that it's not as easy as that, but
no, it's not. Rival. I think something I always learned from Coach Hertler is that you have a preseason, you have your non-league, you have your league, and then your week 10 game is a season of its own. And this is why high school football is so special. There's so much going on throughout the week, and kids deserve the opportunity to enjoy that. But you have to block out distractions. You still have to have a great week of practice. You want them to enjoy the Spirit Week and the pep rally and all of that. But Friday is a one-game season. It's exciting being at home. Obviously, growing up, McKinley Maslin and being a Hoover Jackson kid and being at Fairless the first time in 2015, it's like, wow. Regardless of where you're at, the place is sold out. Both communities care so much about this game. Records don't matter. Both teams are going to play so hard. And for a while there, we were the only school that played for a trophy week 10 in the county. So it is small school football at its finest. Both our kids are going to compete. Both our communities are very similar. And it is a awesome week 10 rivalry. And I'm just fortunate that I get to be a part of it because I have a lot of respect for it. And I know our kids do. And we're going to put everything we have into it.
Last year, Kenny, that game, it was at Tuslaw, and I joke with AJ, but they had a thing that I called the drive last year to beat Tuslaw at the end. Mikey, you were instrumental in that. Is that experience something that you can take into this week's game and use to give the guys a feeling of what this is going to take?
Yeah, I think we just need to go into it confident, play our own game. And I think when we play our own game, we're a really good football team.
Coach, I guess the best way, to end the regular season at home, Blue Cup, I fell into the burning ring of fire, right? I mean, would it be any better than ending the season that way?
No, it wouldn't. It'd be a great job to finish the season beating Northwest and Tuslaw and finishing 5-5, which I think I told the guys today. Obviously, you always want to win more, and we had some tough games here and there, but 5-5 out of 65 years of Fairless football would only be the 20th non-losing season here. So still really proud of our kids. They have not quit this year. So this would be a great way to end the year for them without a doubt.
All right, guys. Best of luck this week. Congrats on the big win, Mikey. Marianne Donuts Sweet Play of the Week. We owe you some donuts on that. Keep it going. Here it is one last time. Going for the win. And Ritterbeck, nope. Pop pass not there. Tuck it, run, dive. 2-point conversion, good. Walk-off win. Ring of Fire celebration. It's all good for the Fairless. The Fairless Falcons. That's for you, Coach.
Yep. Always great to hear that, Kenny.
Yeah, my favorite part is watching AJ lose his mind, too, in the white, right in the middle of that. It's just great to see that. AJ, Mikey, thanks for joining us on the Huddle, as always. Go enjoy the JV game. I know you guys are headed there right now, so enjoy that.
Yep, Mikey's got to go watch his brother, too. So thanks for having us on, guys. We really appreciate it.
Good luck next week, guys. Love that.
Thank you.
Great win for them last night, man. That's what I mean. Big school, small school throughout Stark County, under 500, facing the first place team. You never know. It's why you line up and you play the games, man. So good for them to get a win and a chance to finish 500.
Yeah, makes a huge difference. It's the type of win that they had been searching for all year. They got off to a really nice start early in the season with a quality win against Sandy Valley in week 1. And as he said, they had been in every game, but just hadn't been able to get over the top and get that win. And hey, if you can end the year beating the potential league champ, which Northwest has a chance to win things and tie potentially with Triway this coming week as they play Manchester, and then, you win your rivalry game, that's That's the main thing. Speaking of rivalry games, Kenny,
Yes.
is there a rivalry game coming up next Saturday?
There's a few of them, but none bigger than what's going to happen on Saturday between McKinley and Massillon. And we're happy to have with us right now on the Saturday Morning Huddle the outstanding head football coach for the Massillon Tigers. Big win last night to improve to 6-3. Nate Moore joining us on the Saturday Morning Huddle. Coach, how are you today?
Good. How you guys doing?
Hey, we're great. Thanks for getting up with us this morning. Congrats on the win last night, 42-10 over Warren Harding. Give us an idea of what was key in that game, especially with Xavier Owens still down with an injury. Other guys had to step up for you, and they did.
I think as a team, our preparation this week was really, really good. The best we've been all year. And I really thought our defense played excellent, especially in the first half. Once we got the running game going offensively, we looked a lot better there. And so, it's week 9, right? It's a home game, senior night. We're playing a traditional rivalry in the Warren Harding Raiders. And so it's a great win, great team win on senior night.
Coach, from week 1 to now, the growth you've seen out of this Tiger team, where has the biggest growth been for this version of the Massillon Tigers?
I mean, I think it's been all over the place, and that's what we're going for. We want to develop. We want to be the best developers that are out there, and so our staff has done a great job, putting a lot of work, time, and effort into developing these guys. And the players have answered the bell. They've been all in, and as we've pushed them, they've responded, and we have gotten a lot better. But we're not at the finish line yet.
Coach, one thing that I'm impressed with your program is you have so much talent on the team, and you have your starters, your stars, and then you've got kids waiting in the wings that could be starters somewhere else, right? But they've got to wait their turn there at Massillon. And tell me a little bit about Anthony McMullen, 22 carries, $158 last night, and a touchdown. Xavier Owens is your go-to guy, but he's out with an injury. Here's the kid that's waiting in the wings, and when his number is called, he delivers. How proud are you of him and all the other kids that wait their turn and eventually step up?
Yeah, I mean, very proud of those guys. You mentioned Anthony, and he's definitely one of them. He's a very talented kid, but he's even more than that. He's is he a great guy? So much fun to be around. Very polite, nice, even keel personality. Pops in my office probably once a day just to chat. And he's hung in there and developed and steadily gotten better at the things that he's needed to improve on. And, he's had some carries earlier in the season that, didn't get finished in the way that some of his carries the last 2 weeks have. And that's due to his development and his developing vision as a running back and understanding the things that we're doing in the run game. But he's a good pass catcher. He's a great blocker, great teammate. Nobody's happier when his teammates score. You wish you had 100 guys like that.
Coach, I know Kenny mentions how impressed he is with the next guys up waiting in the wings. The one thing that always stands out to me is the offensive line play for the Massillon Tigers. I know that's so near and dear to your heart with you being a former lineman yourself. Why is that something that the Tigers are year in and year out able to be so strong at? And what do you guys do to make that a strong suit on the team?
Well, we've had great line coaches. That's where that starts. And, John Mazer came in with me in 2015 and was here through the 23 season and just did a phenomenal job of development with those guys. And Chip Robinson has taken that over, and Ty Kearns, a former Tiger, is our assistant offensive line coach, and he was an all-league player at Ohio Dominican. So we've had great coaches at that position, developers. There's something to be said about the pride that those guys feel and having to live up to the expectations of the past. And it's important to our offensive linemen to be great. Our guys have traditionally loved the weight room, and that's such a key. It's key for everybody. It's definitely key for your offensive line, and those guys did a great job in the off season to put themselves in a position to be physical coming off the ball, and then you got to go out there and do it. But you also have to be sharp on your assignments and be able to make all those adjustments and calls, and our guys have done a great job with that. And so, we've got smart, tough, gritty football players, and you can win a lot of games with that.
Coach, I want to talk about your defense here in this segment. Jaden Williams may be the best player in Stark County. That's my opinion. We always look at the skill position guys, right? And they put up the stats and the numbers, but I got to give some stats from last night from what I read. Jaden Williams, your linebacker, being recruited by Ohio State. I talked to James Laurinaitis when he was at one of your games earlier this year. There's a reason he's there. It's Jaden Williams. 3 tackles for a loss, 1 forced fumble, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 fumble recovery for a touchdown, and a sack. That's a season for a bunch of kids. That's 1 game for Jaden Williams. How good is he?
Yeah, I mean, he's turned himself into a great player. But, once again, you got to start with, we have a tremendous coaching staff, and we have a new defensive coordinator this year. Jeff Kent came in, and he coaches our inside backers and coordinates our defense. And, I really feel like he's done an incredible job with Jaden specifically. Jaden had a great junior year, was very productive. And was a returning captain for us. And, a lot of times guys like that, he's committed to Indiana, have a tendency to take their foot off the gas even just a little bit. And Coach Ken has ensured that is not something that's going to happen with Jaden. And Jaden's he's starting to figure some things out in a way that would have been impossible if he had that kind of attitude throughout the season. And he just continues to get better and better and better, and had a very productive game last night. But he's also over the last 2-3 weeks, especially, but last night was you could really see it, just his comfortability with everything that we're doing on the defensive side of the football, and he has a lot of responsibility there, and it's taken a while to get fully accustomed to that. But, as you see his comfort level with that, and his comfort level of, not just being a lead by example guy, but being out front and running the show, his play his level of play has dramatically increased as he's gotten more comfortable with those things. And yeah, love Jaden. Sky's the limit for him. But we've got a couple weeks left together, and I hope to be there with him on the sidelines and watching him make more and more incredible plays for the Tigers before he rides off into the sunset to University of Indiana.
Coach, last thought for you here this morning. The week is finally here. I know Coach Renzi Parnell at McKinley is starting the same week of things for the first time at McKinley, but that is Maslin-McKinley week. I'll say Maslin first while you're on with us. I'm sure that'll make you happy. Coach, just this week in general, I know you get asked so many questions about it all the time, but over your years, what has made this week so special and so unique to you? And how much do you look forward to it every year, Coach?
I mean, I get the question, but it's like, those things are pretty much self-evident if anybody's ever been around it. And, for the people that haven't, I don't know that words could properly explain to you what it is like. It's, I've had the opportunity to coach in multiple state championships, and the atmosphere and the the amount of pressure and all those types of things in this game are far and away superior to a state championship game. And, that could sound like crazy talk for a lot of people. That is what it is, man. And, if you haven't been there, you probably will never understand it. And, we're happy to be some of the people lucky enough to experience this rivalry game. And we don't take that lightly, and we are certainly looking forward to the challenge on Saturday.
I've got one more for him, John, because I'm curious about this standpoint. You've won 9 in a row. You lost your first one, then you've run off 9 straight. This is your 11th Massillon-McKinley game, right, Coach? And a lot of times, as I've done this for a while, kids see a winning streak like that and maybe take things for granted. We're just going to show up. We're Massillon, put the helmets on, we'll win again because we've done it for 9 years in a row. How do you keep your team from having that attitude? Because whatever you've been doing, it's worked. They haven't taken that attitude. So how do you make sure it doesn't happen again like that?
I mean, you can't wait till week 10 for something like that. I mean, that's how we operate across the board all year long is, in many ways geared towards preparation for this week. And preparation for, a lot of things, life, how to handle adversity, all those big moments. They're all, it's the same skill set, right? In how you handle those things properly. And so we're preparing our guys to be the best men they can possibly be and be able to handle whatever situation that they find themselves in over the next, 80 years. And, if they can handle this week well, they're going to be, pretty well set up for their future. And so it's everything and how we prepare. But, it's also nothing because we don't change week 10. Right. That part shouldn't be different for us. If that makes sense to you.
It does, Coach. Thanks for that. We look forward to seeing you on the sidelines Saturday for this greatest high school rivalry in the country, Massillon and McKinley. Best of luck, Coach.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nate Moore checking in with us this morning. Another big win for them, 42-10 over Warren Harding last night. And they're coming in with some momentum. So is McKinley. So that's going to be a clash of the Titans once again. 8-1 McKinley against 6-3 Massillon on Saturday.
It always is. Always a celebration that sort of breaks out wherever that game is. No matter the year, no matter the stadium, no matter the records. You hate to use all the cliches, but it's truly special in its own right. And Kenny, you and I both get the honor of being on the sideline for different broadcasts next week. I'll be on with the Altman Health Systems Alt Care YouTube game. You'll be on with the Freshmark Sugardale Saturday game on the radio. And it's a different atmosphere on the sideline than it is from the booth. And it's even more different when you get the kids involved up on the field there. So it's quite an atmosphere. Hey, we tried to get every coach here on the Huddle throughout the year. That's our goal, right? Like that's something that we want to do to start the year. And I think we've had just about everyone, maybe except for 2 or 3 at this point. We're going to knock off one of those right now because guess who's on? Is that Scott Garcia and the Glen Oak Golden Eagles? A 44-12 win last night? Coach.
How you guys doing?
Good. It's good to see you,
good.
Scotty.
Yeah, good to see you. Congrats on the win last night, Coach. Convincing win. I know it was a close game at halftime, 9-6, and then you guys dominated the second half. What flipped, in the second half to your advantage?
Well, we turned the ball over a couple of times. We were moving the ball up and down the field, and we had a couple turnovers that cost us, 2 drives in the first half. And, we went in at halftime, didn't change a whole lot. There wasn't many adjustments to make. It was just taking care of the football and worrying about us.
Coach, who do you have with us here?
This is our tailback, Javion McClendon. Had a big night for us last night. 250 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's been solid all year, and he's probably just short of 1,000 yards right now. So he's had a really good year for us.
JV 250 yards. That's not just a walk in the park type of night. That's an all county level night. Take me through your night. What allowed you to do that last night and have such a big game against Mansfield?
We game planned all week. We had to play old Glen Oak football, run the ball right down the throat. Had to trust my linemen, and plus it was senior night, so I had to show them a couple things.
Yeah, you showed him a couple of things. 90-yard touchdown, 58-yard touchdown, 18. It's nice when your shortest touchdown run is 18 yards, but I want to go to the 90-yarder, Javion. You're in the huddle. You're backed up, in the shadow of, your own end zone. So you've got to, just get a few yards to get some breathing room, but you take it the distance. Take me through that play and how it developed.
So we called the play. I jet. I got my blockers ahead of me, stiff-armed the guy, and then my speed just took me the rest of the way.
Coach, how nice is it to have a guy that's got power and speed that you can put the ball in his hands in that situation and know good things are going to happen?
Yeah, it was. We told him, in our pregame meetings, he was going to get the ball a lot. We're down to bare bones here, man. We got a lot of guys banged up. We had 2 quarterbacks out, so we moved our sophomore linebacker, tailback to quarterback, DeMarlo Rogier, and we put in a little bit of I don't know what you want to even call it, almost a wing T type set.
Wow!
And we ran the ball, and we ran for 378 yards.
Good for you guys.
Coach, I want to ask, because Javion just said it, and I know it's, even though you started the year wanting to go 4 wides and do something a little different, running the ball down the throat of your opponent is something that I know Scott Garcia likes to do. Hearing your senior say that he wanted to get back to Glen Oak football, what does that mean to you to hear, Tim, that is what Glen Oak football is all about?
Yeah, I mean, that's what we've been through the years. We've had a lot of good teams. We've struggled the last few years, but we're getting some things back in place where we're going to have some success here down the road. But to have these seniors stick through this, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I told them last night, it's tough on everybody to go through a year like this, and for them to stick through it and for them to stay together, and they still practice hard, they still come to work every day. Sometimes you learn more in these types of years than you do when you have a winning season. And you talk about adversity and all the different things that football teaches you. And, our guys are still battling, and we're going to go try to get another one next week.
Yeah, that's my question for Javion. This momentum, how do you carry it over to next week, right? You've got Perry, got a chance to end the season on back-to-back wins as a senior. How do you do that, and how much would that mean to you?
You got to come to practice on Monday ready and trust our coaches.
Short and sweet, Coach. You like that?
Yeah, that's good. That's me. I'm simple.
And Javion, you're laughing at that. You know that. That's Coach, right?
Coach, I'm looking at it right now, and there still is a chance for you guys to squeak into the playoffs at the bottom. I know that's something that you don't really control, but how important would that be to these guys to maybe get that extra week of football?
Yeah, I mean, that'd be awesome. I mean, that's what we're playing for, and we have, like I said, we're limited in what we have going right now with the amount of kids we have injured right now. But like I said, if we can continue to battle and put ourselves in position, the last 3 or 4 weeks we've been right there, and we finally got over the hump last night, and we hope to continue with that.
Coach, what's it going to take against the Perry team? I think they're 4-5, or 5-4. Game over or game under 500. I'm looking at my handy dandy pocket schedule here, and Glen Oak, you're on the road at Perry, so you're going to Wakefield Stadium. What's it going to take to get a win in that game?
It's really, taking care of the football. I mean, all the things that we've talked about all year, we've kind of self-destructed a little bit. Even in the first half last night, we had a couple turnovers, like I said, and if we can clean those things up, Everybody in the league is I mean, it's pretty balanced up, from top to bottom. It really is. And, you're seeing, different teams, Lake getting Hoover last night. And,
Yep.
Jackson beat Lake the week before, those kind of things. Anything can happen in our league.
Yeah, Coach, it's always a battle week in and week out. And Coach, nice win last night, 44-12 over Mansfield. We thank you and Javion for joining the Saturday morning huddle. And hey, best of luck going into week 10 against Perry, Coach.
All right, appreciate it. Good seeing you guys.
Thank you too.
Thanks for joining us. Great game last night, Javion. 250, man. 250 yards in one game. Doggone. Like I said, for some kids, that's a season, right? And he had it in one game last night for Glen Oak as they get the big win. And you heard Coach mentioning, how tight the Federal League is. I'm looking at the standings right now. McKinley's the outright champ, okay? They're 6-0. Hoover 3-2, Lake 3-2, Jackson 3-2, Green 2-3, Perry 1-4, Glen Oak looking for their first win. That would be next week if they get it. But we look at these teams, McKinley, Hoover, and Lake. They're in the playoffs, right? We know that they've clinched, and a huge win last night for the Lake Blue Streaks as they beat Hoover 20-14. And let's bring in their outstanding head coach, Dan DeGeorge, joining us today. And Coach, congratulations on that big win last night. Your defense bows up at the end of the game. You get the stop on 4 downs, keep Hoover out of the end zone, and get the win. How big of a win was that for you last night? Because I heard you say last week, I'm tired of losing close games or something like that.
Hey, yeah, appreciate you guys having me on. Huge win for us last night. We made it a little bit closer than it needed to be. Turned the ball over late when we had it, but our defense rose to the occasion and made some big stops towards the end. And we had 2 rough weeks, man. We lost 2 games we felt like we should have and could have won. So our kids responded. I'm just really, really proud of them for that.
Coach, those 2 games that you guys lost by just a combined, what was it? I think 6 points in back-to-back weeks. I know you're not on the screen, but I can see on your face the sting still in your eyes. What does losing games like that do for your team, and how has it made them better, Coach?
Yeah, absolutely. It does make you better if you approach it the right way, right? We talk about, there's no losses, there's just lessons. So if you learn when you lose and try not to make those same mistakes again moving forward, right? You're getting something out of it, right? And we did that even though we lost again last week to McKinley. We got a little bit better after the Jackson week. We still didn't make enough plays overall in all 3 phases to win the game. Last night was still not a real clean game for us. Offensively, we weren't really sharp. We gave up a kickoff return for a touchdown. But defensively, we really rose to the occasion. My defensive staff and Coach Viscount had our boys ready to go. The kids were really locked in on that side of the ball, and we limited what their quarterback and what number 3 did offensively as much as we could. So that was very, very helpful.
Kenny, I have a follow-up because Dan said something there. He said, still wasn't really a clean game. Coach, I got to ask, is there a such thing as a clean game?
Yeah, there's really not. That's a really good question. But I made the point to our kids this morning where we're going into week 10 and we still have not had a game where we were, super successful offensively, defensively, and special teams wise. We've been 2 out of 3 a lot of the times, which a lot of times gets you a win. But that's our goal, right? To be as good as we possibly can be in all 3 phases. If we can do that, we do have the chance to be a pretty good football team, but we're still making too many mistakes. But the great thing about it is we found a way to win. We get to come back and play a really, really good green team, and hopefully we'll have a great week of practice and find some ways to get better.
Coach, explain to our viewers what this season has been like for you with injuries, appendectomies, your son's broken ankle, guys in and out of the lineup, clean games, not clean games, turnovers, losing by 3, winning by 3. I mean, what's this season been like for you, Dan DeGeorge, as a head coach?
Yeah, and I'll start with, everyone's dealing with injuries. It's a part of the game. It happens every year, unfortunately. It's the one thing about the game I don't like. But yeah, this year's been up there, man. It's been tough. We started the year without our best running back, and Davis Madsen. He was out for the first 2 games. Week 3, we get him back, and on play 4 or 5, Ty goes down with a broken ankle. Those guys are our two best offensive players, and they've only played together 3 or 4 snaps. The credit goes to the kids, though. We've had a bunch of other kids step up. Alex Quire, a bunch of our receivers, Zach Novak offensively. We picked up that slack. But defensively, we haven't had too many major injuries. We've got a lot of guys that are battling things, that are playing at 80%, but they're tough kids. And, high school kids all across the area are doing that same thing. But the injuries are never fun. We're getting closer to getting some guys healthy, which is exciting leading into the playoffs. And hopefully that'll help us, get over the hump even more.
All right, I'm going to steal this next one, John, because he teed me up for it. Getting some of the guys back. We had heard rumblings that maybe Ty was going to play last night. He did not. We did the game when he went down. At that point, we all thought his season, was over. But now we're hearing encouraging things. So where is Ty in his rehab, his recovery, and what does next week or beyond look like?
Yeah, next week looks really good. He's way ahead in the recovery process. He's worked his butt off. I give our trainers credit here at Lake, man. They've done a great job with him. So we had him out running and cutting and running passes last week, and they worked him through about an hour workout yesterday. If he was a senior, maybe would have ripped it off last night and let him go, but we're being real smart with it. Of course, he wants to play, just wants to be out there with his buddies and playing football, and I think it looks pretty good this week.
All right, take me through dad versus coach in that situation.
Yeah. Of course, I want him to play as a coach. You always want your best kids to play. You want all your kids to play, right? You want them to have that opportunity. Ty was playing really good football for us early on both sides of the ball and on special teams. And, we found a way to win without him, but we're still missing him in a lot of categories, in a lot of areas. So as a coach, you obviously want your best players out there. As a dad, you want the best thing for your kid first and foremost. And, had a lot of conversation with the doctor, and he's way ahead of the game. This is not a normal recovery process if you compare it to some other things, but you're looking at all the medical things and what the doctor's telling you, the trainers are telling you. You trust them because they're good at what they do, and he's feeling really good. And so hopefully, and my wife's on board as well, which is a big part of that process, of course. But ultimately, as a family, you just want the best for him long term. He's only a junior, plays baseball, has another year of football as well. So we're not going to put him out there unless he's physically ready to go and the green lights given to him.
Coach, what does he add back to the team when he gets back? You mentioned that him and Davis have not really seen the field together. What does it do for you guys when he's back out there? I mean, we've seen him, but how much of a difference does he make?
Yeah, he makes a big difference. And, the thing, if you find a silver lining in this whole thing, is with Ty out, we've had a lot of other guys have to step up, and a lot of other guys got the opportunity to play, and a lot of those guys have made the most of it. So that, I think, ultimately, when and if we get Ty back even close to 100%, just makes us a better overall football team. And Ty knows that, and he understands that. We're trying to win football games. Every week we evaluate our kids and we put the best kids where we think they need to be to help us win on Friday night. And we'll do the same with Ty and all our other kids, and try to get a win versus green and put ourselves in a good position to make a run in the playoffs.
Yeah, Coach, I just want to ask this, Kenny, because you mentioned green there, Coach. And I don't know if anybody in the Federal League right now is maybe playing better ball with the exception of McKinley. What Tyson Hunka did last night, what Evan Reed did last night, they're a 4-5 football team, Coach, but they're not a 4-5 football team, are they?
No, not at all, man. They could be, 8-1, real easily. A couple snaps of the ball. Their staff does a great job. Coach Geis is a really, really good coach. Their kids play hard. They have some really good players. They're fighting for their playoff life, man. We know it's going to be another battle. It's going to be just like our last 3 weeks, man. Federal League football, they're going to come to play, be very well coached. If we don't show up, they'll punch us in the mouth and beat us. So we got a lot of work to do to get a win week 10.
Yeah, but Coach, the good news here is you've already clinched the playoff spot, and I believe a home game as well. So you're going to get a chance to play at Blue Streak Stadium. But I want to talk a little about your defense and Brady Summers yesterday and the importance of his impact on that win over Hoover. He had 2 big picks that really helped you guys get the 20-14 win, didn't he?
Yeah, our defense played really well. We had a really, really good week of practice. We had a good plan. Our kids understood the plan and they did what they were supposed to do. That's been something we've been talking to them about. Like, listen, guys, I mean, if you do what you're coached to do, you got a better chance to win. And they did that last night. And again, credit to my defensive staff and Coach Viscount, man. They really brought their A game last night. Brady had a good night. Cal Pierce had a pick. Those turnovers, those interceptions came from us getting pressure on the quarterback, though, from our defensive line and our linebackers, making Collins throw the ball a little bit sooner than he needed to, or throwing it while he got hit, created those turnovers. So it was definitely a team effort, everybody doing their 111th, and that's what you need when you play great defense.
Yeah, Coach, we saw that last week against McKinley. I know you guys didn't get the win, but Zach Kutsera, I believe, is his name, and then is it Angelo Wood that's on the defensive line as well? I mean,
yeah.
Coach, those two kids, they might not look like Myles Garrett and Chris Jones, but they sure as hell play like Myles Garrett and Chris Jones. What is it about those two guys?
Yeah, both those guys have really gotten better for us as the year progresses. And then you throw in A.J. Mitchell and Gavin Swimmer, and those are our 4 defensive linemen. And we're just really pleased with how much effort they give on every single play, how coachable they are. And they've been a really important part of our defense. And you throw in our 2 inside linebackers with Hammer and Grady Widner, and they're playing good football. We got to get better, and we're not going to be satisfied, but we like where we're at.
Coach, thanks for joining us this morning. Best of luck to you and your team and your son, Ty. John, come on. Are you surprised that Ty's coming back possibly in week 10 with the George blood running through those veins and the intensity of rehabbing? And I'm not. So I'm looking forward to seeing him, whether it's in week 10 or week 11. But just the fact that he has a chance to come back, kudos to him. That's major props to him. And we wish him and your team the best of luck, Coach.
I appreciate that and appreciate what you guys do. Thanks for having me on, and rock 'em. Go Blue Streaks.
There he is. John, when that injury happened, we did the game. Everybody was down in the dumps that night, right? And it's like, well, probably lost for the year. It's a broken ankle, right? And they didn't hide it. It was a broken ankle. And somehow, some way, he's rehabbed that sucker, and he's, on the verge of coming back in the regular season. If not, then for the first playoff game, which, by the way, will be at Blue Streak Stadium because they already clinched that according to the paper.
Yeah, it's incredible. Last week at the McKinley Lake game at Benson, we saw him and Dan. They were playing catch actually on the field before the game, and Ty was moving well. He looked like he was ready to go then. Obviously he's probably still a little unsure on it, and you're going to be anytime. Anybody who's suffered a broken anything, there's that period where you're like, gosh, should I really trust this again? And, because he's a 17-year-old kid, he will trust it a lot quicker than some of us would. But
no doubt.
He'll be ready to go. Kenny, I wanted to bring this up, by the way. We talked about it. We got to play some highlights of things from last night because – we got to get to this. I also want to get to your Renzi Parnell interview last night because I think those couple things there. But we had some backup plays to the play of the week from last night. I want to show it again. Here was the sweet play of the week.
Marianne Donuts.
Mikey Ritterbeck scoring here. Marianne Donuts sweet play of the week. Gets into the end zone. 2-point conversion. They win. AJ Starbaugh in the corner of your screen there going absolutely berserk. But we talked about this last night. We had backup plays too, Kenny, because there were some plays that maybe were more thrilling than that.
Yes, there were.
And here those are. So, I hear Chris Berman on this because you get fielded at the 10. It's Evan Reed. He's prodding. He's looking. Hits the Jets. Finds the left sideline. And he could go the way he does. It's a touchdown. Evan Reed, 90 yards.
How about this flea flicker? My goodness. You touch it, you touch it, you touch it, then I'll throw it, you catch it, and take it the distance. Nasir Foster on the receiving end of that flea flicker for the Perry Panthers last night.
And then Davis Mattson, little swing pass out of the backfield, gets through the sea of Hoover defenders, finds the sideline, and high steps his way in, celebrates with the band. And then, Kenny, I'll let you talk about this play again.
Well, it looks like it's just a simple short pass play to Darius Hill, and he's down by contact right there. Well, he was down but not out because his body did not touch the turf. He landed on top of Max Cowles from Jackson. He realized it, Hill did, and he takes it the distance. and it's a touchdown. For me, I'm sorry, that was my Marianne Donut Sweet Play of the Week. I understand it was a walk-off win for Fairless on that 2-point conversion, and you have editorial control on our Marianne Donuts Sweet Play of the Week. So you took that one and ran with it, literally. But that was my Sweet Play of the Week, for him to realize he wasn't down and spin around, bounce up, and then go the distance for a touchdown. Darius, if I see you, I'll get you some donuts if I can, because I thought that was pretty sweet unto itself.
It was a pretty sweet play. All right. Next order of business.
Yeah.
Community One Credit Union. So normally most weeks, Kenny, last week it was the effort of Joey Medor, single man effort, great effort by Northwest. Most weeks we go with one.
Right.
But last night we had a duo that was as good, if not better, than Joe Flacco and Jamar Chase from the night before. And I'm wondering if Trent Hayden ever had that look on his face that Joe Flacco did when Jamar Chase dropped the ball. But I don't think that DJ Britt dropped the ball last night, Kenny, did he?
He high-pointed everything. He caught everything that was thrown to him. 9 catches, 179 yards, and a touchdown for DJ Britt. Trent Hayden, how about these numbers? 18 of 25, 311. Put it up there on the screen. 311 yards, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. They are our Community One Credit Union Players of the Week. That tandem, Trent Hayden on the left, DJ Britt on the right, 7-3 equals 6. And they did it very well yesterday. Big plays, short plays, moving the chains, touchdown. These two combined yesterday for one of the better passing catching performances I've seen in 11, 12 years since I've been at WHBC. So congratulations to our Players of the Week right there. Seniors, Trent Hayden, DJ Britt. And when it comes to money, Community One Credit Union is always on your team. They've got the plays that make life easier. These two made it real easy last night. From loans to checking, online banking, mobile services to youth accounts, and everything in between. Community One Credit Union, where community comes first, and membership is open to everybody in Stark County, including these two kids, Trent Hayden and DJ Britt.
Did you give me a Howard Cosell right there? Did you say right?
There, you did a little. I figured I'd drop a little in there.
I know. We're getting a little punchy here at the end of this. All right. Hey, last couple things I want to get to. You caught up with Renzi Parnell last night after the game and talked to him about not just the win last night, but the upcoming week. And here's that interview between Ken and Renzi.
Was everything in order tonight here for your team? 40-9 over Jackson tonight, Coach. Last year, this team, you weren't here, but this team had a chance to win the Fed outright. Jackson beat them. Was that talked about at all this week? Because you guys came out from the get-go and really put it on them.
We didn't talk about last year. We've been 1-0 all year, so it's just the same message, just consistent message about being 1-0 every week.
All right, what was the key here tonight? Because you were down a couple of key offensive linemen. It didn't seem to affect your offense.
Yeah, Trey was shaky. You got to go through the protocols, so we should get him back next week. But we got the fast start we wanted, right? The fast start was big. Defense did a good job. They executed the game plan, so we were good.
One of the things you told me at halftime, execution. You weren't happy with the way the first half ended. You had it 1st and goal, but then you came out, man. That first drive, that to me, the ball game was over after that first drive. How happy were you with the way they responded?
Really happy, because that's always your goal coming out of half, right? You can score coming out of half. It takes a lot from the other team. So,
defensively, why is this team so good? You're giving up under 15 points per game, only 9 here tonight.
You try to build depth throughout the year, so that helped tonight. We had some depth out there, and they're executing well, and they're running to the football. So they're starting to buy into what we call bulldog football, right? Running to the football and hustling and all those type of things.
All right, so last night I watched Joe Flacco play catch with Jamar Chase. Tonight I watched Trent Hayden play catch with DJ Britt. 9 catches, 179 yards, and a touchdown. You just said, ooh, yeah, those numbers. Are you surprised by that, or is that something you expect?
I mean, I expect the play. I didn't know it was that high, but I expect them. They do it in practice all the time up against our defense. So we know we're capable of it. We got really good receivers. So, no, I'm not surprised with that. Trent Hayden is awesome, does a really good job at finding them. And some of us just take what's given to us.
Last thing for me, a lot of times in this 9th week, McKinley teams might have been looking ahead to Massillon. Your team did not do that tonight. How did you keep them focused on this, go 1-0 in this game tonight and not look ahead?
Like I said, it's been the message all year. So a lot of the consistent message from myself and the coaching staff paid off.
Okay, I lied. One more. It is Massillon week now. This game is over. You're outright Federal League champs. Congratulations on that. But what does this rivalry mean to you as you're going to take it in as the head coach for the first time?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, a lot of excitement. It'll be about respect for those guys and what they've done. But, now it's time for us to show up and show you what we got.
Coach, thanks for this. Good luck the rest of the way.
I appreciate it. Go Pups.
Renzi parroting almost what Nate told us earlier live on the show. It's been building all year. It shouldn't be just about you build those habits, that mindset all season long. So when this game comes, yeah, it's the greatest rivalry in high school football, but it's also 1 of 10. And let's do what we've done in our 8-1 season, our 6-3 season. If you're Massillon, 8-1, if you're McKinley. So I loved hearing that from both coaches about this week's upcoming game. And by the way, got to give some love to Kylan West. 1,068 yards for the sophomore after going for $108 last night and 2 touchdowns. 1,068 yards, 10 touchdowns running the football for Kylan West to go along with Hayden and Britt and Hill and that offense and defense for McKinley.
Yeah, over the years, McKinley has always been blessed with, such great backs going back to the Mike Dosses of the world. You want to go back, way far. They Wayne Fonts and Phil Martin, some of the guys in the 50s, they've always had great running backs. And Kylan West, just a sophomore, is automatically becoming that guy. And, it's interesting, Kenny, you talk about that rivalry week mentality. I think, too, about what AJ said, that Coach Hertler always told him there's your preseason, there's your non-league season, there's your league season, there's your week 10 season, and then there is your postseason. Right. And that's where all of these kids, all of these coaches are at going into this week. Some rivalries bigger than others. Obviously, Tuslaw Fairless a big one. We know how big McKinley Massillon is. Jackson and Hoover, which is going to be the radio game this coming week, is huge. Northwest and Manchester going to be big this week. That's a big rivalry game. Week 10 is supposed to be big. I mean, it's part of the reason why I think some people are disgruntled with the college football playoff, that it's taken away some of the importance of what Ohio State, Michigan used to be about. But what's going to make this week the best, Kenny, for Massillon, McKinley Massillon, is that, guess what? Both teams are already in the playoffs. Yeah. You don't have to worry about week 11. You can leave it all on the line in week 10. Obviously, you want to have stuff left in the tank for week 11, but it's your rivalry game. You leave it all on the line, and hey, you hope that week 11 you get somebody that you can play well against and beat. And, because at the end of the day, getting that bell back to one of the two cities is all that matters.
Yeah, Massillon's won 9 in a row in this rivalry. McKinley, though, coming in on a 7-game winning streak in the regular season. So hopefully their momentum, if you're a McKinley fan, that carries over. We'll see. Hey, I want to go through all the scores one more time, John, but before we go through the scores, we got to give love to our sponsors. Without the sponsors, the Saturday morning huddle isn't possible. So you'll see them crawling on the bottom of the screen. John's going to put some visuals up for you. So if you're in need of any of the services that they offer, by all means, take advantage of like Akron Auto Auction, right? AkronAutoAuction.com. You can check them out online. I went to my first ever live auto auction with Chad Bailey and his staff and was blown away by it. Couldn't believe it. It's open to the public, a chance to bid on a car if you need a car. And they've been doing it for over 50 years. So if you're doing it for 50 years, you're doing something right. They are a driving force in the auto industry. Akron Auto Auction. And thanks to Chad Bailey as well, along with Anthony Davide, for hooking us up with a fabulous food from Angelo's yesterday at the Jackson game. Another one of our sponsors, Mary Ann Donuts. Every week we talk about them, the sweet play of the week. And we had multiple plays that deserved that this week. And fall means football and filling up at Mary Ann Donuts. Of course it does. From hot chocolate, the pumpkin favorites, or as we used to say back in the day, the pumpkin favorites. And those legendary football-shaped donuts, Mary Ann's has the game day gear you need to keep your crew fired up and fed. Canton Classic since 1947. There was our Mary Ann Donuts sweet play of the week. Mikey Ritterbeck from Fairless. Also, Community One Credit Union. We love having them on board with us. We honor the Player of the Week, brought to you by Community One Credit Union. So thank you for believing in the Saturday Morning Huddle and wanting to be a part of what these kids do. And when it comes to money, Community One Credit Union is always on your team. Make them your team. Community One Credit Union, simply the best. A little Howard Cosell there for you too, John, on that.
Last couple sponsors, Ty Colucci, DeHoff Realtor. Thanks to Ty, not just a sponsor of the Saturday Morning Huddle, but also sponsoring the Cleveland Browns this year for us on WHBC. Sorry about that, Ty. But nonetheless, you can reach out to Ty, the email on the screen, buying or selling a home. He wants to work with you, wants to help you with his 15 plus years of experience. And then Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC. Brandon, Carl, and the great folks at Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC. His son Cam Carl been having a majestic season. Yes, a majestic season for the Fairless Falcons. Been absolutely incredible the year that he has put together and continues to put together. And the Falcons pick up a big win last night. So thanks to Dirty Hands Excavating and Restoration LLC and all of our sponsors. Kenny, I have something to show you here, by the way.
Oh, what do you got?
I was in Massillon the other day, and I was thinking about this. I was like, you know what? The rivalry's coming up. I'm going to see if I see anything special. I was at a Dunkin' Donuts, and I saw this.
Meet McKinley, decade dominance. Wow. Okay. Yeah, there you go. It could be, right? If they get the win, that's 10 in a row. So very impressive by Nate Moore the last 9. And, they got the Tiger in the chair there with the crown. They've been the best team in Stark County, not just beating McKinley. Nobody in Stark County has beat them, right? Going back to until Nate's first year. I think Glen Oak beat them that year. McKinley beat them. And since then, nobody in Stark County has beaten the Massillon Tigers. So they're not only a decade of dominance over McKinley, over the entire county for Stark County. And speaking of Stark County, John, let's go through the scores and give some love to some of the other players who were involved in big games, big plays last night. McKinley beats Jackson 40-9, the final there. Trent Hayden, their quarterback, throws for 311 yards, 3 touchdowns. Kylan West, you see him right here. He takes this one the distance, 24 carries, 108 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's over 1,000 yards for the season. DJ Britt, 9 catches, 179 and a touchdown. Darius Hill, 5 catches, 114 yards. And a touchdown. So McKinley was rolling yesterday on offense. They get the big win. They're outright Federal League champs. Lake beat Hoover yesterday, 20-14. How about Davis Madsen? Misses the first 2 games of the year with an appendectomy. 24 carries yesterday, 153 yards, 2 touchdowns rushing. He also caught a pass for a touchdown from Alex Quire, who threw for 144 yards and didn't turn it over. Big win for Lake yesterday. They clinched a home game in the playoffs, and they may get tied to George back this coming week. Green rallies from a 21-7 deficit and beats Perry at Perry 28-21. Evan Reed, have a game, kid. 6 catches, 101 yards. 8 rushes, 35 yards. 90-yard touchdown return. That's 3 total touchdowns for Evan Reed yesterday. And Tyson Hunka, I call him Sergeant Hulka. And boy, has he been in charge, man. 2 TD passes, a TD run yesterday. He threw for $163, 2 scores, no interceptions. Huge, the no turnovers. And Green rallies back to beat Perry 28-21. Glen Oak gets a win yesterday. We had Scotty Garcia and Javion McClendon on with us. Glen Oak 44, Mansfield 12. Javion McClendon, 19 carries, 250 yards, 3 touchdowns, one of them a 90-yard touchdown. We had Nate Moore on with us. Massillon gets the win, 42-10 over Warren Harding. Anthony McMullen filling in for the injured Xavier Owens, 22 carries, 158 yards, and a score. Manny Patterson at quarterback, 12 of 17, $133, 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Geo Jackson had a touchdown catch, as did Deontay Malone. And Jaden Williams, like I told Nate Moore, may be the best player in Stark County. Their linebacker. I know he's committed to Indiana, but Ohio State was looking at him. And I know Indiana's getting a lot of love this week, right, with Coach Signetti and the contract extension. They're number 3 in the country, probably will be number 2 after Miami lost last night. But, when Ohio State's knocking on your door, Jaden, you might want to listen. 3 tackles for a loss yesterday, 2 fumble recoveries, 1 forced fumble, a scoop and score fumble recovery, and a sack. The linebacker is playing his best ball going into week 10 in the playoffs.
That's a season.
That is, right?
It really is.
35-24 over Louisville. Gabe Stouffer gets hurt in that game in the first half, really affected the outcome. Put up a great effort, Louisville did in the second half. Owen DiMarzio ran for 123, but Louisville on the short end to Cincinnati LaSalle 35-24. Alliance bounces back from their loss to West Branch convincingly. 35-0 over Minerva. Senior night, they improved to 7-2. J.R. Jackson, 2 TD passes, 1 TD run. Ravon Hawkins, 2 touchdown runs for the Aviators. Marlington, a loser yesterday to Salem. How about this? The 2 schools combined for 100 points. Salem wins 61-39, but a good offensive effort for Marlington in that game, John.
Yeah, last night, Brian said on the air, he said, Brian Novak, he was talking about it. He said, if you were looking at the over-under, it was 100, and it would have been a push if you had taken the over-under. So how about that? 100 points. That doesn't happen very often, but man.
Not in high school football. Canton South playing very good football right now. They beat Tuslaw 28-21. Brody Beagle, a touchdown pass, a touchdown run. Braylon Conley, 98 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns.
B-Dog.
Yeah, that's right. B-Dog. We had him on last week on the Huddle. Nate Eberhard, a solid game for Tuslaw on a losing effort. 129 yards and 2 touchdowns. Brock Dow, they're close, right? Tuslaw, he's starting to turn it around. They're close. It's going to eventually come. Give them time on that. Fairless, the upset of the night, right? Week number 9, upset. Fairless, 22. Northwest, 21 in OT. How about this? Northwest ties the game with 10 seconds left. Joey Medore's 2-yard run. Ben Shant's extra point tied it at 14. Connor Stevenson then puts Northwest ahead in the overtime on a touchdown run. They kick the extra point. They're up 21-14. How about Fairless, though? Coming back, and Mikey Ritterbeck, 20-yard touchdown pack to Zach Gilkerson in overtime. Ritterbeck on the 2-point conversion. They go for the win, and here it is. 2-point conversion. Marianne Donut Sweet Play of the Week. Ritterbeck in for the 2-point conversion. Walk-off win. Celebration ensues. Ring of fire. Everybody having a good time. For the Fairless Falcons in that victory. Victories have been hard to come by for the next 3 teams I'm going to mention this year. Triway beats Central 28-0. Central 0-9 on the year. Garaway beats Sandy Valley 49-7. Sandy Valley 0-9. Mogadore 33. St. Thomas nothing. St. Thomas 0-9. So those 3 teams having a rough year. Hopefully the kids that are returning will have learned a lot. The experience will help them moving forward. And one other game to tell you about: East Canton 35, Buckeye Trail 6. How about Colby Schrader, 2 TD runs for the Hornets, and Owen McCroskey, the quarterback, touchdown run, touchdown pass, 7-2. Spider Miller, one of the surprise teams of the year. And that's a recap of week 9 in and around Stark County.
Yeah, and as of right now, Spider and the boys still have not clinched a playoff spot just yet. They're 7th in D7 Region 25. Next week, here's the plan for Kenny and I. We don't know so much about the Saturday morning. Hopefully we'll have the Saturday morning huddle for you. We're hoping to.
Well,
either way,
because McKinley and Massillon are playing,
right.
So we're still trying to work that out. So stay tuned all week. We'll keep you updated on it. But we're hoping to have it maybe live from Tom Benson Hall of Fame Stadium.
But one thing that we will have next week, folks, I want to let you know, we're going to make graphics of where every team sits in the playoffs going into that Saturday morning. So if you're curious the night before, you're wondering, you can wake up with us. You don't have to stay up until 2 in the morning while Joe Itel updates everything. We will look at it all, and we will be the ones to stay up until 2 in the morning for you, because that's what we do at WHBC. And we will get you all of the updates that you need going into Saturday. Kenny, I cannot believe that we're saying it right now, but rivalry week, week 10, it's here. And then after that, we start the 5th season, according to AJ Sarbaugh, and that's the postseason. And this season has just flown by, and these huddles have flown by. And hey, we got one more regular season huddle coming up next week, and I'm excited for it because we've got what I think is the best week of high school football all around this week with the rivalry games in Stark County.
Yeah, and congratulations, John, to these teams that have already clinched playoff spots. I read the paper this morning. Division I, Region 1, McKinley and Jackson are in. Division 2, Region 5, Lake in and with a home game. Division 2, Region 7, Massillon, Hoover, they are in. Division, 4, Region 13, West Branch and Northwest are in. So congratulations to those teams. They already know that they are playing in the postseason. Other teams need victories and help this week to get in, and we'll recap that all for you, like John said, next week on the Saturday Morning Huddle.
That'll do it for us. Week 9 in the books. Thanks to all of the coaches. Thanks to Nate Moore. Thanks to AJ Sarbaugh and Mikey Ritterbeck. Thanks to Javion McClendon and Scott Garcia. Thanks to Dan DeGeorge in his car coming from the JV game. And thanks to all of you for being part of this today. Kenny, Week 10 is here. Say bye to the folks.
Yeah, we'll talk to you all next week. Go Bucks at Wisconsin today, and we'll see what the Browns can do on Sunday against the Miami Dolphins. You'll hear both of those games on WHBC along with all of the high school football coverage.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Saturday.